Uhum.
Good morning, YouTube. I'm here with Rosália, Leandro, Bel, and Aline to conversation about communication skills. Every single day at 6 a.m. we will meet into English conversation. So I want to invite everybody to come and together with us. All right. So here, Talking is a conversation platform when you put and you practice the English, Spanish, French, and Italian, maybe. It's okay to make mistake here. Don't worry about giving your opinion. I'm not a teacher. I'm here a host to guide this conversation. Solomon. French. So don't be shy. Don't correct the colleague. Please respect each other's time and enjoy the moment. I think it's a great opportunity to learn something about the conversation, about the only other subject, all right? So I start to introduce myself. I'm Bruna, I live in Brasilia. I'm married, I have 2 sons. I work in public service. I love to dance, work out. In the past, I'm behind, so it's difficult for me the communication with other person. But nowadays, I try to improve more my conversation because I understand that it's very important for my skills, improve my other skills, of course, and that is. And what about you, Leandro? Can you introduce yourself? And if possible, start a little bit about the conversation is important for you.
Okay, thank you for asking. I'm Leandro, live in São Paulo and study technology.
Your sound very low.
Oh,
I don't know if only for me.
Now?
Yes,
Okay.
great.
I'm Leandro, live in São Paulo. I'm study technology, and my next frontier, I believe, is artificial intelligence. Yeah, is a subject that I'm studying now. And inside the data science, yeah, I believe you'll be the I don't know, but the Greek area for humanity, for good, for bad. Um, I'm a person that like to read a lot, but sometimes I don't have the time that I would like to have. But that's it. My mainly hobby, and I like to travel. And I live now with my parents, and that's it. A little about me. I'm 35. 36. I'm 36. That's it. The communication for me is very important. I was a person that don't pay attention a lot with communication. It was my job. My job, the last job, and the others was more connected with technician tech techniques or technician abilities. Is not so hard with communication, but I need to improve more, because I became a leader in a kind of yeah, a little boss. To I have this necessity to have communication and negotiation with clients, customers, and manufacturing manager, like some that. And I learned it expression, I don't know in English, but for me communication is not a thing that you say, or that you try to say. Communication is more connected with the thing that the other is understanding. Okay, sometimes it's easy to you thinking about communication that because everything is in your mind, but when you need to give for someone information, you need to put it in the same place of the other, because you need to understand how is the best way to you give the communication. Yeah, transmission of information is so important. Sometimes you need to change your words, yeah, for the other to understand, change your tone of voice. That's it. It's communication for me. It's more the way that you try to put the other to understand you. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Leandro. And you, Rosalie, can you introduce yourselves and tell us about it. What is communication for you?
Okay, for sure. I'm Rosalia. I'm 55 years old. I'm living in Joinville, Santa Catarina. I'm married. I like so much to spend time with my family, make some dinner, lunch for that, and stay everyone together. About communication, I think the best way to make a big communication is listening to and trying to pass the good communication, like Leon said. I like so much because depend of the way your voice is different, the way the other receive your communication. Then you need to pay attention, especially the the way you pass the communication. In the past, for me, it's so difficult to talk in front of the people. Nowadays, I'm more free about that because I think talking helped me a lot, because I need to be prepared when you are trying to stay here in YouTube in front of most of the people. Is not easy, but nowadays it's more less for me. It is more because I try to stay without so much nervous, something like that. Yeah.
So nice. I was going to ask these questions if the talking being hosting talking help you, Bel and Leandro, about the communication, because I think when you need to speak and communication with the other person, and in the special and YouTube online, for example, I think it's a challenge, and it's a great
Yeah,
moment to improve this ability, these skills.
especially face the fears.
Yeah. So thank you, Rosalia. And you, Bel, can you introduce yourself and talk about how the communication help you?
Yeah, sure. So can you listen okay? Because
Yeah.
today I'm using other headphones. So guys, I'm Bel. I live in Salvador, but I was born in Fortaleza, and I live with my mother, with my sister. I have two dogs. I work like a air traffic controller from Brazilian Force. And about communication, I really like that subject because we use a lot. Yeah, we use all the time the communication. It's like Leandro said, everything there is in your mind, but the communication is the ability to put that idea or conception in another mind. Yeah. So, and we need to use don't we don't need just use the word, but the voice, but the other um, factors involve the communication. Yeah. And for me here in TNT, I could prove a little about my communication because we broken first step, yeah, like an emotional step. Because sometimes we are afraid about to say something or express our feelings and our ideas. And here we could to bring more confidence when you try to talk. Yeah, and we learn it's possible to show your opinion and don't be judge about that. Yeah, so it's there are a lot of benefits with the communication, and I think when you have a good communication, you can express yourself more. You can about yourself. And yeah, I improve a lot. When I told that experience for in another meeting, but I bring all the time because I'm a shy person too. But when I start to participate in the meeting here, in English, it's not a big problem to express myself in a public in public, for example, in Portuguese, because it's like it's not a big problem, yeah. Because I tried to talk in English, so I could talk in Portuguese, yeah. I can improve that. So yeah, I think the communication is a key of the good relationship.
So nice. Thank you, Bel. And you bring some things very interesting about it's difficult to talk in Portuguese, imagine in English, and about the judgment, with the other. So nice, thank you. And for you, Aline, you can introduce yourself and tell me about the communication. What do you think?
I'm Aline. I'm work as a product designer, and I have a lot of hobbies. I love reading, listening to music, and listening to a podcast, and dancing, and many other things. About communication, I think it's pretty important for me, because as a product designer, I need to talk with a lot of stakeholders all the time, and talk with customers to understand the customers' needs, and communicate my ideas with stakeholders. So I need to be understood by my colleagues. And I think how we live in society, we need to understand people and be understood about them. So I think communication is that vehicle we use to do this.
Yeah, nice. So tell me about, Aline, the difference and the no-verbal and verbal and no-verbal communication. Can you bring something about this? It's important, no-verbal communication for you?
Yes, I think all communication is important. And sometimes we need to read the people, and not what they are talking about, but how they look for you. For example, it's a sign, it's a non-verbal communication, or how that people is sitting on the chair. I don't know. I think the people emit a lot of sign who that transmit some information for us, and it's important to understand that.
So nice. Yes, I agree with you. I think sometimes no verbal, it's more important, no? Because sometimes if you said something, but your gestures, for example, is different, oh my gosh, I didn't understand what Belle, for example, want, because she voice is so calm, but she express very fast, or for example, so we have a problem, no? I think it's necessary to have a link connection, your verbal and the no verbal communication. And for you, Leandro, what do you think about? It's important for you, no verbal. Sometimes do you use this no verbal communication?
Yes, I learned how to have a good no verbal communication, make gesture, a body language, and eyes on eyes communication. I believe is very good to approach the other person. Sometimes you touch the shoulder of the person. It's possible to transmit it, what you're feeling. The, it's subjective feelings about the communication. I it's I like this question because it's crazy nowadays. The most part the things that I have communication with the others is online. I feel that I lost part of my communication because that I sometimes I need to develop a better verbal communication. But I believe gesture, posture, eye contact is totally part of communication. I don't know. Sometimes I try. I try now. I was thinking about maybe I will meet. I will have my meetings and stand out because but is have this kind of difficult because I need to control the Zoom meeting because that is maybe impossible. But I prefer when I speak or give some I don't know some when I work I need to speak with other person or public. I walk. I walk. I try to control my tone of voice. Online is I have this difficult. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I believe it's non-verbal is make totally sense for me. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. And for you, Rosalia, what do you think about? Do you agree about Leandro said? It's sometimes here you be shy and if it's impossible to show your gesture or no the tone voice. The tone voice is
Yeah.
difficult for you, or it's so nice.
Yeah, sometimes happen because you want to say something and the words don't come your mind, and you need to make some gestures. Depend if the people can understand, but it's depend if it's not. But you need to use these gestures to try to make communication. Some depend of the time. That I think is the gestures is so important. The non-verbal, it's like a gestures is so important than verbal, because if you want to say something and then you can't say that, you can make some gestures the people can understand. But I think the verbal is more important because you can explain more your thoughts. You can explain with the gestures is only to complement something. Then but it's important too, because depend of the place you are, you make a bad face, the other people already understand. Then yeah, I think the both is important, but it's more it's better the verbal.
Yeah. So thank you. Bel, for you, about the no verbal gesto, no verbal communication, for example, do you think when the people cross arm in front of for you, do you understand that it's the person are being resistance, or no, you don't do this analyze?
Yeah, I never read about that, but I know there are some books that express, yeah, body language, for example, and yeah, sometimes it's possible to see in the different gestures or body language that kind of action can be understand, like you said, yeah. So sometimes that happens when I realized that. And I believe different kind of situations that body language can be like a hesitance or don't be comfortable, during the conversation. I think that I totally agree with you.
Well, the psychology use this all the time to when need to analyze, no, about the gestures, the position, the body language. I think it's very important too. If like I said, I think it's necessary to connect what you your verbal and your no verbal communication. No, it's that make a sense maybe. All right.
Sorry, can I bring another point of view?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Thank you. How identify the real non-verbal communication from our paranoid, for example? Because sometimes we think we are reading the other people correctly, but it's our impression. It's not a real defect. In fact, I think it's we don't have ability to do this correctly, because I don't know, we don't learn it about that on school or in your life. So we learning this now, and sometimes I think we don't understand correctly the non-verbal communication. I think it's a point to pay attention. I don't know.
Oh, so nice. It's a great point. Thank you. Because sometimes it's possible to learn something in the internet because about the body language, and it's maybe, I don't know, it makes sense for everybody about the cross arm. For me, sometimes it's been resistance the other person, but sometimes it's not only the position the body,
Yeah,
like this.
I read this, yes, because I read 10 years ago or more, I don't remember, and the book about body language, and yes, I think it's real, but not always, because sometimes the people cross the arms to understand better what that someone said previously, because I don't know how, when for example, I'm talking about my situation, but sometimes when I get some hard information, I need a time to understand better. So sometimes I cross my arms to stay with that subject for more time. It's not about, oh, I don't agree with you and I don't listen what you said. But sometimes I need more time and I cross my arms to, how can I digest that information? I don't know.
Yeah, great point. Belle, do you agree about this?
Yeah, I think maybe the person don't realize about your body language, And for example, like Aline, you said, you sometimes just close your arms for a moment, but maybe in that moment, it's because your brain don't understand the message completely, Or you are, it's not a rule, of course, it's not because you are here we don't agree or we're not comfortable about the other person. But sometimes the most part of the situation, it's like it's your brain, your body together, So I totally understand you, but for me, that works sometimes, For example, when I watching some videos or class, for example, that I didn't understand the idea or I'm not so comfortable, normally I close my arms, and when I realize it's not respectful and I will try to be open, it's like your body needs to be open for receive the information. Yeah, I don't know about the feelings completely or certainly, but I believe have an interaction between your brain and your body. But I never read the book that told about that, and I don't know that it can be applied 100%. Yeah, but for me that works sometimes.
Yeah, so nice. It's now I bring something interesting that Leandro said about this, Aline and Bel said about I think it's how do you say barriers. The number, maybe it's little number 7. What are some common barriers to communication? For example, about maybe in this moment, like you cross arm, maybe you judgment the other, no? It's when Eileen said maybe it's not necessary about resistance or avoid to you something, for example. And Leandro talk about the empathy. I think it's the moment a good communication need the empathy all the time, no? Leandro, for you, what is some common barrier to communication? How do you say?
Yeah, I agree with you and the things that the others said. But for me, body communication, if you are not a psychologist, you are not judge. It's a kind of thing that is more directly body for body. When you set up person, when the person, for example, cross the arms, is like is closed to have this communication. Yeah, because that I put myself to don't do this, but sometimes like Bell said, maybe you try to thinking about something, try to process information in is easy to you. Put a hand on face, or try or cross your arms is usual. But asking the question, common barriers for me is when you have some lack of clarity to transmitting a message, or have a misconception about something and judge something. A barrier is when the other is not don't is not open to listen you is not open to listen the other. Yeah, I believe to have a good communication, we need to is open to listen more than talking more. Yeah, but I like to listen a lot, but listen is different to hear. Yeah, because sometimes the people is not to listen you, it's not try to understand you, and to have a good communication, you need to understand that they try to read the feelings that the tone of voice, the personal, your emotional, is a lot of things connected. You need to put yourself in the same stage of the other, same level. Yeah, to have a good communication. For me, this barrier is necessary broken this barrier, because the other person needs to have intention to have a good communication to you. Yeah, sometimes the other is not open to change idea. It's only want to say, you want to put your ideas, force a brute force ideas in your mind, and it sometimes happen with you too, because they pay attention. For me, barriers of communication is when the other don't listen you. Yeah.
So So nice. Thank you, Leandro. So, Rosalia, Leandro mentioned several examples about the barriers. So, how to overcome this communication barrier? It's possible. Give me one tip, maybe.
Yeah, the first one, I think Leandro was right. You need to the first listen to pay attention of the conversation, especially here when you are here to make this meeting. If you don't pay attention in what they are saying, you can answer the question, you can follow this meeting. Then one of them is pay attention and understand what it was saying, trying to pass the communication. But the big barrier nowadays, I think one of them is a cell phone, because you are here, but you are paying attention more in the cell phone than the people. Then you don't receive this communication, this message, then you can be continue, you can solve this problem, you can make the communication. One of them, I think, is that don't pay attention what another people, your gestures. Sometimes they are pass the message, you don't pay attention what they are saying, but you pay attention your body, you can understand something, then you can remember these messages. Then I think is that, don't pay attention.
Yeah, thank you. You bring something about the message. It's very interesting. I use a lot the emotion. Os desenhozinhos, emotion. Because I think it's a great opportunity to express your emotion in this moment when you write, because it's, sometimes I don't know if it happened with you all about it. You read, it's possible you think the tone voice, the person when you read the message, is angry. No, it's well, it's calm. No, sometimes when you put the emotion, I think. How do you say them? Emotion. We have other name, no?
Emoticons.
Emoticons. That's it. I think it's so easy. It's to understand about this, no? So nice. Aline, tell tell us about the number. Let's go. The number 5. What is active listen, and why is it crucial for effective communication? You said about the body language, and about the active listen. Do you think is important?
I think it's the most important in a communication. I agree with Leandro, because sometimes when communication with other people, we want to talk about our feelings or our emotions or communicate our things, but sometimes we don't prepare to listen the other people. And in a communication, it's important, how I said previously, understand and be understood. But in your life, we learned to communicate well. It's important, speak well and be understood. But sometimes we don't pay attention in the other people and what they want to say for us. So I think it's, I don't know, maybe I exercise, we need to try or practice that kind of things. And I'm learning for the second time a book called Nonviolence Communication. It's a great book because in that book the author said when a person talk with us, they have they have needs to show for us. So we need to pay attention to understand what they said and what they want to say. How can I say that? With the how that needs they try to communicate of us. So I think the listening is the most important to understand that.
Yeah, so nice about no violence communication. The Marshall Rosenberg, so nice. I love these books. I read, and in this moment I do the course about the no violence in the communication. It's so good for me and for to treat the other person. And that's it about the listen activity listen in this book. For example, I think they bring about in the moment that person explaining something for you, you think in the answer for this person. No, it's no, you need to only pay attention for about the needs this person, for example, and after the conclusion, you talk about something. I think it's very interesting about this. And for you, Belle, do you know about this no violence communication? What do you think about the actively listen to?
Yeah, I heard about that. I was in a class about that, and I really love because it's like Aline said, there are a lot of emotions and feelings in the background of the communication. Yeah. So when you try to use the active to listen, you can connect with another person. Yeah. You can try to put yourself in another side and understand that person. It's so important because sometimes there are a video on YouTube from Leandro Carnal. He told something about when you start a conversation, sometimes you, oh, I'm not so good today, and another other person just start to talk about your day too, yeah, and the persons are not prepared to listen someone because sometimes we just need to be listened and try to be understood. Yeah. So that video is it's really good because when you start realize that it's really interesting. Sometimes you have a conversation with someone and you start to talk about yourself and another person uh, talk a lot about yourself. It's like a competition, like, oh, my life is so hard than you. Don't plan about that because my life it's so bad. Yeah. And yeah, so it's so important actually to listen to try understand the other person, the other point of view. I think you can increase a lot your knowledge and to be awake about a lot of things. Yeah. So, and I use that a lot in the aviation service, yeah, at my work. And because of that, because we just have a verbal communication, the controllers and pilots, for example, and the radio telephone, it's little hard. There are a lot of issues during the communication. So it's like when the connection is bad. So for that, for um, provide a best communication and avoid that kind of misunderstanding, we can give instruction for the pilot, and the pilot needs read back that. It's just to repeat the same information, and when the pilot repeats, I will judge that information is correct or not. So it's a good technique we can use in the during the conversation or during the communication at home because sometimes we say something, the other person just affirm or put a negative language, and normally it's just affirm, but the person doesn't listen you and just uh, yeah, just ignore your message. Yeah, so it's so important.
So yes, the feedback it's so good, man. I try to all the time said, can you understand me? Because here in the immersions, sometimes I speak faster. I know very faster. I and I mistake, of course, many words. So can you understand me? I think it's a good question if you want to know if we have the communication, no? Because if you don't have communication, the person don't understand me, I don't understand or listen the other person, don't have communication, no? What do you think about, Leandro? You sometimes you use this extra strategy to about the feedback. Can you understand me? Explain what you understand or no? You don't use this.
Yeah, I like this strategy to have feedback if the other understand what I said. Sometimes I don't use because I don't know. I need more develop more improve more my ability to understand or remember to asking for another. But in Portuguese it's common when I explain for someone. Oh, do you understand me? Because if the other don't understand, I try or I try to see I try to see the expression of the other to understand if the other understood me. Yeah, because sometimes you are you are speaking in the other. It's possible to see the face if the other is understanding you, and sometimes you need to change the way of conversation, try to adapt to your communication to context that is happening. Yeah, and I worked with communications for guarantee of product. Sometimes the other is totally boring about something that happened. My job is try to break this emotional, have a connection with the other, and after that talking about the talking about the problem, because you need to put yourself to in the place the other, and try to have this don't have a misunderstanding the other. That's it. I believe feedback is good when the other understand, you understand the other, but to don't have a misunderstanding. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I understand that here in Brazil we have the culture to do the feedback all the time. Someone talk to you and yeah, that my feedback for the other person, that I understand what you say, no? And Aline, for you, how can cultural difference affect communication?
Oh my God. I think it's completely different because I think that the language impact directly how our brain works, how we structured or some information. It's different in different culture because the language. So because I think I don't know, to learn another language is difficult main for this, because in Portuguese I put this, I use some words to say something because it's about our culture or how we understand about a subject, and in another culture it's completely different because sometimes they think different from us. I don't know if you understand me, because it's difficult to explain that, because how can I say that? Because it's pretty difficult. I don't know if you have that difficult to talk about other people in other language, because for example, here in Brazil, we don't say no directly. We talk about other plans that impact that other invite. When we talk with other people, for example, in Europe, that people say no naturally. They don't know. I don't want. I don't. I can't. It's not important for them find an excuse to show you they can't do something. So I think how we act in our daily life, in our day, directly impact how we talk something, how impact our conversation and our communication.
Yeah, I totally. It's hard, you know. And for you, Rosalia, you are a traveling person. What do you say about the different culture and communication?
The language, the first one, I think, is the language, because if you doesn't understand, it's difficult to make communication. But I was thinking about that. I think with my husband trying to speak no matter the languages. He trying to make the communication for gesture. He's trying. Then he says, "I can travel for a world. I don't need to study languages because I can make a communication." But it's true. But I think the best communication you can understand a little bit. I don't know. You need to. I'm not saying you need to understand everything, but a little bit of the context of the conversation. If you know a little bit about that, it's a great way to start a big communication. It's not a big communication, but you have a little bit about that. You understand a little bit about that. Depend of the place that you are, you need to receive and accept this culture to make part. Because if you are know this culture, you are a visitor, then you need to accept all the context that you need to make part in this moment. You need to pay attention of your history, because all the place that you are, they have your history. You need to pay attention and try to give some feedback that you like. Not no, because if you say I don't like your culture, you'll be different. No, you need to be open to understand. Then yeah, depend of the place, you need to be prepared to stay there.
So nice. Thank you, Rosalia. So everyone, thank you for this moment. I enjoy a lot and I learn too. So thank you. I needed to finish this conversation, this immersion, because Belle will start her conversation, right? So thank you and have a nice weekend for everybody. Bye-bye.